We are live, and this is another episode of today's Q&A where we answer real estate agents' questions regarding the sales process, and anything that you have questions about real estate so that we can help you know what to say and get better in your business. Today's question comes from Casey, where he asked, hey, what do I say when they say we're not putting our house back on the market, and just contact us if you have a buyer? So this is most likely coming from an expired, in which case we can reflect deeply. So when I'm not on a call and I have time to think, I reflect on what is somebody saying and why are they saying it. So in essence, the more I know about why and how and what's behind what they're saying, the more I can respond to what they're saying from a psychological standpoint. So let's start to analyze. So they said, hey, look, we're not wanting to put it back on the market, which is really interesting. They just had it on the market and it failed. So in essence, by putting it on the market, someone's saying, I want to sell. And then when you call, they say, I don't want to sell, which I don't really believe that's probably true, because the only way that could be true is if their circumstances have completely changed. So we can dive into that. But then they follow it up with saying, contact us if you have a buyer, which is another code for saying we want to sell. So it's like, hey, we want to sell. No, we don't. Yes, we do. So my guess is the evidence shows they absolutely want to sell. So then why are they saying they don't want to put it back on the market? Well, I can think of three reasons that happen most often. Number one, they don't feel comfortable with you yet. You're a telemarketer, you just gave them a call. That could be it. Number two is they don't want to go through the trouble, the hassle of putting it back on the market, dealing with the dashed expectations and all of the showings and keeping it clean for nothing to happen. That could be it. Or maybe they have a friend that tried to sell it and they don't want to hurt their friend's feelings, even though they don't think their friend can sell it. And so it's easier for them to say, hey, we're not putting it back on the market. Bring us a buyer if you can, because then it wouldn't hurt their friend's feelings if you just happen to bring them a buyer. So those are three most common things that are actually going on behind the surface. And I personally would like to figure out which one of them it is so I can dive in and overcome it. Now, I'm going to give you a couple approaches. One is the power line approach. And this is the one I think Chris Igo mentioned in his comment to you. This is a great approach to learn right away because it's a line. You can memorize it. You can deliver it confidently, and it doesn't require as much thinking in the process. So the line is pretty simple. You said, hey, contact us if you have a buyer. So he responds by saying, we have lots of buyers. We specialize in finding the one buyer on planet Earth that will pay more than anyone else. Did you have any offers while it was listed? Right? So immediately he powers through your objections, says, yep, we got buyers. We know how to find buyers. Did you have any offers while it was listed? And gets you on the defensive, puts himself back in the control, and has you answering questions for him about what happened. So the beauty of this approach is it's simple, easy to learn. You can communicate it easily if you practice it, and you take the control and the power. The downside sometimes to this line is if someone isn't wanting that dynamic from you, they can be turned off by this, or maybe they feel like you didn't really answer their question. Now, again, I still think it's a very powerful line and it's really good to use. Now, if you want to go with a little bit more of a consultative approach, then you could say something like, hey, it sounds like you want to sell. You just don't want to sit on the market without offers, correct? And so what you see I'm doing here is I'm labeling what's going on, because I'm taking a guess here of what's happening psychologically, which is they want to sell, they just don't want something. Now, this will either be true, and that is the reason, one of the three reasons, or it's not. And oftentimes I don't care if I'm right or not, because if I'm right, they'll be like, yeah, that's what's going on. I don't want to deal with this anymore. If I'm wrong, they'll say, no, that's not it. Or they'll say, no, I'm not interested. So that, once they say, no, I'm not interested, gives me the ability to kind of dive in a little bit deeper into the other aspects, right? And make myself vulnerable. Well, hey, you had it on the market, right? Where would you have gone if the house was sold? Well, I'm not really willing to tell you. Okay, sounds like you're not comfortable with me yet, right? So you're just playing into the different possibilities that's going on psychologically till you find what you're looking for, and then they can open up and you can dig deep and go past. So anyways, that is two ways that you can go about it. We'll go deeper in other videos about how to go deeper in the psychological aspects. But what I like to do with every objection that I face, including this one, which is a good one, is analyze what are they really saying? What's really going on? What are the possibilities that are on their end that could be going on? And how do I get those out of them so we can have good dialogue and move forward? So anyways, use the power approach, use the consultative approach, let me know how it goes. And then of course, we'll try and do some follow-up and answer any questions you have come out of this. So anyways, hope this helps, and we'll catch you on the next one.